Good evening, students. Chapter 2, Human Reproduction. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the male reproductive system. The male reproductive system comprises of a pair of testes, accessory ducts, accessory glands and external genitalia. Testes are the primary male sex organs. The main function of testes is formation of gametes, that is the male gamete sperms, and to produce the male sex hormone. So testis is the primary male sex organ and its function is to formation of gametes and to produce the male sex hormone. Accessory ducts. The accessory ducts associated with the male reproductive system includes retitestis, vasa efferentia, epididymis and vas deferens. So these are the accessory ducts. The accessory glands of the male reproductive system are paired seminal vesicles, bulbourethral glands or otherwise called as Cowper's glands, and a single prostate gland, and external genitalia, that is the penis. So these comprises the male reproductive system. So the male reproductive system comprises of a pair of testes, accessory ducts, accessory glands and the external genitalia. First, we'll see about the testes. The testes are the primary male sex organs. They are paired structures, oval in shape. So a pair of testes are present. They are oval in shape and they are located in the scrotum. Scrotum is a sac of skin which hangs outside the abdominal cavity. Scrotum is a pouch-like structure which is made up of skin and it hangs outside the abdominal cavity. An important question: why testes are placed outside the abdominal cavity? So, for the formation of sperms, the temperature should be lower than the normal body temperature. So, the temperature required for the formation of sperms should be 2 to 3 degrees Celsius lower than the normal body temperature. For that reason only, the testes are placed outside the abdominal cavity. Thus, the scrotum acts as a thermoregulator for spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means formation of sperms. Now we'll see the testes showing inner details. There are a pair of testes and each testis, in this picture you can able to see the inner details of one testis. Each testis is covered by an outermost fibrous covering called as tunica albuginea. So the testis is covered by a protective covering called as tunica albuginea, and this Tunica albuginea has many inner foldings which is divided into many septa or compartments. So the testis is covered by an outer covering called as tunica albuginea, and it is divided into many septa or compartments. There are 200 to 250 compartments, or otherwise called as lobules. And if you take each lobules, it contains 2 to 4 highly coiled testicular tubules, or otherwise called as seminiferous tubules. So in this picture you can able to see the seminiferous tubules. So each lobules or each compartment has 2 to 4 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. These highly coiled tubules form the 80% of the testicular substances, and they are the sites for sperm production. That is, the sperms are mainly where they are produced, means they are produced in the seminiferous tubules. So sperm formation takes place in the seminiferous tubules. If you cut the seminiferous tubules, if you take a section and see the seminiferous tubules, it is made up of two types of cells. So the seminiferous tubules are made up of two types of cells. One is the Sertoli cells, or otherwise called as nurse cells, and next is the spermatogonic cells, or otherwise called as the male germ cells. So the seminiferous tubules are made up of two types of cells, Sertoli cells or nurse cells, and next is the spermatogonic cells or the male germ cells. The Sertoli cells are elongated and pyramidal. So they are conical in shape. The Sertoli cells are long conical cells. They provide nourishment to the developing sperms. So mainly the Sertoli cells only provide nourishment to the developing sperms till their maturation. They also secrete a hormone called as, the Sertoli cells secrete a hormone called as inhibin, which is involved in the negative feedback control of sperm production. So the hormone inhibin is produced by the Sertoli cells, and this hormone is involved in the negative feedback control for sperm production. Another cell, that is the spermatogonic cells or the male germ cells, they divide meiotically and differentiate to produce the spermatozoa. The spermatogonic cells or the male germ cells only going to divide meiotically and develop into the spermatozoa or sperm. Next, the seminiferous tubules are surrounded by a soft connective tissue called as interstitial connective tissue. So the seminiferous tubules are surrounded by a soft interstitial connective tissue. This interstitial connective tissue contains a special type of cells called as interstitial cells, or otherwise called as Leydig cells. So the Leydig cells are embedded in the interstitial connective tissue. The Leydig cells are endocrine in nature. So these cells are endocrine in nature. And these cells secrete the hormone androgens, namely the testosterone hormone. So this Leydig cells only produce or secrete the hormone androgen. This hormone only initiate the process of spermatogenesis. So the hormone testosterone only initiate the process of spermatogenesis. These cells are endocrine in nature and are characteristic features of the testes of males. So the Leydig cells are endocrine in nature and they are the characteristic features of the testes of mammals. Other immunologically competent cells are also present. So this seminiferous tubules are highly coiled tubules and here only the sperms are formed. This seminiferous tubules, they converge to form a network of tubules called as the retitestes. In this picture you can able to see the seminiferous tubules, they unite together to form a network of tubules called as retitestes. And from the retitestes arises the tubules, small minute tubules called as the vasa efferentia. So the retitestes is connected to the epididymis through this vasa efferentia. So the seminiferous tubules leads to the retitestes and the retitestes gives rise to the vasa efferentia and the vasa efferentia is connected to a single highly coiled tubule called as epididymis. So finally the seminiferous tubules gives rise to the network of tubules called as the retitestes and the retitestes gives rise to the vasa efferentia and the vasa efferentia leads to the epididymis. So the sperms which are formed in the seminiferous tubules are passed through the retitestes and from retitestes they reaches the epididymis through the vasa efferentia. So the epididymis is a single highly coiled tubule. Here the sperms are stored temporarily. In the epididymis only the sperms attain maturity. So the sperms undergo physiological maturation and acquire increased motility and fertilizing capacity in the epididymis. Okay students, till this we conclude our topic. In the next class we'll see where this epididymis is connected to. So go through this topic. Thank you.